Once having been cast under our heroine's mesmeric spell, the poor young Thruer was incapable of unsmiting himself therefrom. As was not to be unexpected, Melody repelled his advances. This was her modus operandi when dealing with swains whose hearts she could crush like eggshells. After being turned down cold by the love of his life, Thruer stalked her all over town, just as Gustav von Aschenbach had his beautiful Tazio in Venice, ofttimes turning up in strange holes and corners. At one point he'd even made a foiled attempt to abduct her in broad daylight before thousands of spectators. Although Melody declined to press charges against Thruer, lest her own role in provoking, if not fairly actuating, his crime would expose her to unwelcome scrutiny, and therethrough embroil her, and by default her guardians, in all sorts of embarrassingly frightful scandals. Immediately subsequent to Thruer's attempt to take her by force, the authorities issued a restraining order against him for the purpose of protecting Melody from his overbearing blandishments, and then some. Unable to tolerate an existence that offered him no hope whatsoever of being allowed to lay his eyes upon the object of his obsessions, if only from afar, much less to gain access to its leading article. Thruer's bloated stiff was found at the crack of dawn the very next day, hanging from a bridge over the river, with a note attached to it, written to his beloved, expressing his earnest wish that his death would bring her deep joy. All of these events had transpired ahead of Melody's becoming financially involved with Weezer the Geezer, when she wasn't yet 13. Suffice it to say, she had forced to suppress from her memory all thoughts of Mr. Thruer in the sewer, as she called him, in reference to his pathologically contagious depressions, and the dark chapters in her life that culminated not just in his solo Dutch act, but in the sweeping epidemic of self-homicides that ensued as a consequence thereof, the bloody tragedies wherefore, in despite of her feelings of ineffable guilt, she refused to bear so much as even an ounce of the blame.